Hello, everybody, and welcome to Jamflix and Chill for Awful Summer Jam 2018. This is a special Saturday morning edition. We've got 4 games up on the docket. With us today is Chernabog and me with FU from Uranus 2. And then we've got SupSuper and Raujinn with Pong II. Then after that, we've got Nihiloss with Earhart of Darkness. And then finally, LowenSoDium with A Trip to the Moon 2. We're going to go ahead and start off... Oh, sorry, one second.
And we're also joined this afternoon by your lovely co-host, Xibanya.
Yes, we are. Because it's way too early in the morning.
And I guess I'm technically part of SupSuper Raujinn's team, too.
Oh, yes, you also did voice acting.
That's right. I give great waifu.
You also did voice acting for earlier this week. Crap, what was it?
It was for Sequel Studios.
Yeah, it was it. My brain is not firing on all cylinders at the moment.
That's why you've got a co-host who also just spoke up.
Yep. We're doing it live. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and boot up FU from Uranus 2.
My opening remark on this is that I felt like such a moron that I didn't catch the wonderful reference in the title logo until you guys pointed it out to me. And now it seems so obvious.
Well, I didn't want it to be so obvious, but still kind of you could tell.
I guess it's obvious now that I know what to look for.
Yeah, I guess.
I do love that you got the FU to resemble exactly the ET poster letters.
That's kind of, basically we didn't want to copy exactly the same game. So let's...
So I take it this game is a sequel to the Atari ET, right? Even if it doesn't play like it.
That is correct. Usually I like to go for as close to emulating something as possible without it actually being exact. So there's a lot of elements here from the original ET.
I just want to say that's a Yannick-ass spaceship.
I don't know what it is. It sort of just resembles his face.
I gotta say, when I first saw that, it reminded me of the giant head spaceship from Zardoz.
I don't think I saw that.
That's the one that that's a movie Rick and Morty parodied in the one episode.
It's the one with Sean Connery wearing like bandoliers and underwear and nothing else.
Pretty much.
Oh yeah.
Hairy chest for all to see.
Hell yeah.
I've seen at least the title of that movie.
Fantastic film.
I love your art, Chernabog. I love your style. It's very distinctive and it's so appealing.
It's phenomenal.
Basically, for the main character, I wanted to copy the shape of ET, but it's very different at the same time. Just so it wouldn't be, you know, like a straight copy.
Did you animate in Spine?
No, it's all in Animate CC.
Is it just in Flash?
Well, yeah, it's the same thing.
I see. I was wondering, because I remember after LowenSoDium you were saying, I should do it in Spine next time, but I guess you didn't get around to it.
Yeah, I guess I'm used to Animate already, so that's what I always use when I want to make something quickly.
I just noticed the health is the eyes, and I think that's really clever.
Thanks.
And I noticed the little puffs of smoke, I guess. I love how those are animated. Were those implemented as particle effects?
The explosion itself is animated by hand. Only in Animate.
Now, in-game, I'm just spawning a paperclip book sprite each time something explodes.
Huh.
Oh yeah, also this is done in Unreal because I figured
Oh, right.
might as well hit a nail with a jackhammer.
So I can't even guess at the systems y'all used.
Well, I don't know about like all the stuff he did. I just basically gave him the art and he did the rest.
So, Dieting Hippo, were there any technical challenges in implementing this game?
There were, because part of that is because I had only used Unreal once before, so this was a giant learning experience.
And that was for Dungeon Profiteer, correct?
Correct. I had previously made the weapon building system in that, and this time I was like,
dev, so.
yeah. Oh no, we had a great team there too. Like somehow we managed to form a 20-person game studio for 2 weeks.
I really enjoyed watching that happen. I just noticed, yeah, you guys have the holes just like in the original game.
Yep.
Yeah, that's basically a copy.
Yeah, there are some things that I did want to get in that I'll be working on post-jam. One thing from the original ET was that you can eat candy to find out where the pieces are on each part of the map. Basically, you eat the candy, and then you see like a little dot appear over the pit in the original. And last minute, I had asked Chernabog for an arrow to possibly do the same thing. I could not get that done in time for jam submission.
Another thing we wanted to make was whenever you go into the pit, right now you just find a candy or a cartridge. And something we wanted to change is that there would be like a platforming section inside the pit, so there would be more gameplay. That's actually why his neck goes up and down, because we were going to use that for that part.
How much of that is frame animation and how much of that is being done programmatically? Like how high his head goes?
Basically, everything is a sprite except for the neck. Well, the neck is made out of tiny sprites, but the bending of the neck is all in programming.
Yeah,
nice.
Don't tell anybody, but it's horribly inefficient.
Oh, really?
Okay, I won't tell.
Okay, thank you, please. Yeah, if I make this next segment any longer than, let's say, 12, the game starts breaking when you walk around and the neck bends. So I had to hard cap it after some trial and error testing.
I love the bend with the momentum, and so if it was Unity, I'd say, oh, you're adding force with a rigid body, but since it's not, how are you doing that?
So each segment takes the position of the last segment and adds, I think, 5 to the position. And then because of how Unreal parents everything, and how each child, I'm trying to remember what they're called, components. That's what the term is. Because each component can have a relative location compared to its parent component. It's just a matter of making a tiny change to the position while Unreal takes care of everything else.
Interesting.
That's actually why I really liked working with Unreal, because it managed to take a lot of the busy work off my shoulders.
Huh. I've been a little intimidated by it, since I know to like make full use of it you have to be good at C++, which I'm not. But I'll have to. The more I hear about it, the more curious I get.
They've actually made it very easy to get into with blueprints.
Yeah, but that just like makes me feel insecure if I'm not programming.
I had the same thought at first too, especially when I was working on Dungeon Profiteer. But I gotta say, I love working with the boxes. As a matter of fact, I love working maybe a little too much with the boxes. There's a lot of functionality that I had to put in, within the last couple days right before the deadline, that I only ever did in Blueprint just because it was a lot faster to implement. I didn't have to do much compiling. I just drop a couple boxes in. Granted, it's a little messy. I didn't do too good of a styling convention, but hey, it gets the job done.
Nice. Also, Chernabog has just posted a beautiful moving picture whose pronunciation we probably disagree on in the Discord. So when you're done with this, you should definitely throw that on stream.
Oh,
Oh,
definitely.
Is there an end game?
There is. I'm actually spoiling the entire game because all the cartridge positions are preset.
You should make it so that it changes the spots every time.
Nope, that's the big secret. I'm a regular old P.T. Barnum.
Well, I feel like in all games, like, the easy thing is just explicitly telling the game what to do, and most of the difficulties I've had in my own game dev experiences, I could have solved if I was just like, fuck it, let's hardcode it. But, you know, the tricky thing is making things dynamic, scalable, maintainable.
And that's pretty much it.
Yep, there we go. We got all 5 cartridges.
Nice.
Now we head to the bonfire.
I love these illustrations so much.
Yeah, those were nice to make.
They're phenomenal. Off he goes. Mission complete. The
Who
end.
did the sound, or is it from Stock Sounds?
Most of the music is in Compotech.
Ah, yes, gotta love Kevin McLeod.
Oh yeah, so good. That's the intro outro is one track. The overworld when you're walking around is another Incompetech track. Actually, I'll pull up the credits now. And then Chernabog brought on a musician, Jean-Marc Perrient, who did the title music that you're hearing right now.
Nice.
And it's got kind of like a, if you listen close, it's kind of got like a Mario Paint feel to it.
Yeah, I actually asked him if he could make a song, but I took too long to ask him, so he didn't really have much time. And he only made the song for the title.
Still, it's neat to get your own custom title theme.
Yeah.
Definitely. Also, this was on the Gong Show last night, and I was very surprised that the guest for that block was Imakuni, who's over on Vinesauce, because she's a huge Sonic nerd and was the perfect person to notice that I use the Chaos Emerald noise from Sonic Spinball when you pick up the cartridges.
I had no idea.
I'm also not a Sonic nerd, so that was lost on me. But I'm glad somebody picked up your things, because nobody ever picks up my little things.
Somebody got the
It always
reference.
feels good when people do. Yay! It's no better feeling when someone gets your obscure-ass reference.
Yep.
I'm still ashamed that I didn't catch the ring until somebody pointed it out.
Oh yeah,
That's an ass reference.
a goat man.
You know it is, because it's got a ring. I'm going to admit that when that screen first popped up at the top of this hour, I thought that was boobs.
Well, maybe there's some subliminal messages there.
I've been saying it looks pretty yonic. I mean, this whole game, some sort of like flappy skin thing going into holes.
Yeah. That's
Does that say
ET for you.
Blatari 420?
What did you say?
Does that say Blatari 420?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Blatari
Nice.
4200.
Nice.
It's the famous game console.
Yeah, that was me frantically typing out a quick backstory for the game in a Google Doc, and I was like, all right, so
Lore.
he meets some stupid humans, and then he goes from there and he gets Blatari cartridges, and it was so stupid we kept it.
Deep, deep lore.
Exactly.
So I've actually already done some post jam work on the game, because there's
Oh yeah, are we
there's
playing the
definitely
post-gen version now?
we are not, because I forgot to package a build for that, and I'm afraid Unreal will slow my machine to a crawl if I launch it right now.
How bad that is unreal about that, because I do definitely have performance issues with Unity, so I've been wondering how bad Unreal might be.
It's actually pretty good. If you're compiling a lot of C++ code, it might start getting intensive. However, because I have 2 streams running at the moment, my computer seems to not like 3D Unreal games running. I had an issue the other night with Where the Red Fern Grows, where my computer eventually just screamed and overheated. But one of the things that we're planning is getting in platforming bits for the pits. Oh, dang, I died.
There is also that explosion that is not still in.
That too. There's supposed to be little gore explosion sprites for both FU and the FBI agents.
And there's a drone that shoots at you.
Oh yeah, a floating drone with little like helicopter blades and everything.
And I could probably make more tiles.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, because it's a bit too samey right now.
Yeah. Yeah, all the groundwork that you see here, that's all tiles. And it's all done super seamlessly. Chernabog did a great job with this.
What's all that typing? You know, I never noticed you could do that, where you stick your neck above the rocks and shoot at them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I definitely think this was something where I was using it so often, I didn't think about whether or not other people would figure it out.
I saw on your credits that you had plenty of playtesters. How was, like, did you make any major changes as a result to player feedback? As a result of...
So here's the thing, a lot of that play testing was mainly me wanting to make sure that the game runs on other people's computers. Having worked with my own Roll Your Own engines, that was a lot more bigger concern than it was with Unreal. Everybody was like, oh yeah, it launches fine. Also, there's a lot of not stuff here. And I was like, yeah, no, there's not a lot in yet.
Yeah, it's always interesting to get playtesters because I think it's so important to have it. But there's this sort of, you don't want to explain everything, but you often get a lot of feedback from people saying like, this isn't finished yet, where it's like, yes, I know. I think I especially get that not with jam games, but with like if you get somebody who's not another game dev to playtest your game.
You also have a lot of experience on this, don't you? Because you used to test games.
Dieting Hippo used to test games.
I used to test games many years ago, and now I test much more boring things.
I also am in the land of QA, although not in a manual tester role, more of like a software development engineer in test, but this sort of QA process is a big part of my professional life.
That's a fun spot.
Oh yeah. It's like, you don't get the respect of a dev, but you get to do dev things.
And isn't that all anybody wants?
Exactly.
Well, and like you said, it's very important to test the games, and well, not just games, anything really.
That is true, because imagine some of this stuff shipping to market the way it is.
What's kind of funny, I think Dieting Hippo will agree with me on this, is that if you spend a lot of time in the world of testing, you start to like undervalue your own skills. Like, this is obvious, anybody could do this, and then you get somebody else to try to test, and you're like, oh no, actually, like, testing is a skill that you build, and not everybody's very good at it.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but well, isn't it very important to do a lot of things that are very boring, like crash into walls and just do random things that don't really seem fun?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that you want to try out, and with testing, having like the ability to just think about things that you can do and getting creative is super helpful.
Yeah, I've never done games testing professionally, but a big part of ensuring the success of a build or a release is making a test plan, and that involves like just deciding what needs to be tested to begin with, because you don't have unlimited time, so you have to kind of make a decision about what you test and what might not get tested. And being able to decide what the priorities are is a skill, and part of it is like thinking of things that aren't intuitive or aren't obvious, but somebody's going to end up doing. If you hold down A and B at the same time and run up into a tree, do you suddenly launch into space? I don't know, but you should try it.
Yeah, that's the sort of stuff. Or just turning it on and off and see if something happens, and then do it a million times.
And then something does happen. You're like, I was kidding. I didn't actually want that to happen. There's so many times where it's just like, there's no way this is gonna break, and then it does, and it breaks even worse than you'd think.
Things always work fine until I take something to a public demo and then they break.
Oh yeah, or the live showing of the game.
What it is people assume, or I used to assume, like, oh, well, because I am involved in testing professionally, I will be very good at testing my own game. I won't fall into all the traps that my stupid devs fall into in my professional setting, which is totally wrong, because it's amazing how quickly you get used to doing the little things that make you avoid the bugs in your own game. Because you do that not to try to ignore them, but like, oh, I need to get past this to test this other thing, so I'll do this fix I know works. And then you forget. And then when people play it live, they don't know to do all those things, and you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah. Like, the neck mechanic here is actually probably a good example, because I know when to extend it and retract it for aiming around obstacles. But generally on stream, what I've seen is either people keep the neck fully extended, or they don't use it at all.
I've noticed that too with my games. With any kind of mode switch, people just kind of want to stay in one mode and never switch.
Oh, another thing I actually did have planned for the neck, which I was actually trying to work on before Jamflix and Chill started, was the neck was actually intended to let you shoot over obstacles.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So the shots would actually gain some
height.
This is actually confusing for me to say, and I'll explain in a bit why. I wanted the shots to gain some Z height, so that they could actually go over things and be registered by the program as being higher.
You just had it that when you shot it, when the neck was extended, it ignored all hitboxes, except for the baddies.
I could do that and wait until it has a certain Z height to re-enable the collision. That's actually a very good idea. But now let me explain why saying it as Z height is confusing for me. And that's because for Unreal, when you're working in 2D, what you're seeing here is the XZ plane. X is left and right, and Z is up and down. And Y is the depth in and out of the screen towards the plane.
Yeah, it's different from Unity.
So Z height is just up. It's not out, and I had to do a lot of fakery in order to make the draw order here work correctly. Unlike more traditional systems where up and down would be Y and Z would be in and out.
Oh yeah, is this being drawn from a tile map?
Yep, all the terrain is a tile map. The objects placed around were just placed into the Unreal editor. And I imagine...
Oh, so you can generate a tile map and then place objects on it in Unreal?
Yep. I made all the objects as like a base object class in C++, and then what you can do is make blueprints of that base class, and then just change tiny little variables on it, like the name, the image used, the collision box. They make it very easy.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
I totally interrupted you. You need to keep explaining your game.
Oh, no, that was it.
I was going to say, did I just notice some knockback when you hit one of those mines?
Yes. That was actually something that took a little bit of work. Because that was also programmed through C++, but translating some Unreal blueprint functions to C++ is kind of weird in Unreal.
It was also very fun when they used to launch you like to the other side of the world.
Oh yes, I think I've got a video somewhere of touching one of the mines, and it just shoots you right off the side of the map into another screen.
That's awesome.
That's how you get back to space.
Yes,
Beautiful.
just hit a bunch of mines.
I feel like there needs to be a crossover with this in Horse World too.
Oh no, I died.
Oh, maybe they could use a spaceship.
The Uranusians have declared war on Horse World. I'm trying to think about what they'd be called. I think we just call them inhabitants of the planet Uranus.
Yeah, that's what
The goat
they
men?
probably chose.
Your Uranusites.
I don't know if many people noticed the frog in there.
I noticed.
Oh yeah, Get Out Frog.
I made it my
La-ra-na.
life mission to have a frog in every game I make.
It is an excellent mission. What's stupid about the Get Out Frog is it's a wonderful thing, but I laugh more when I see it accompanied with not get out, but please leave. It's stupid. That makes me laugh every time. Which I think is a reference to that Dr. Ian comic.
Wait, which one is that?
There was this amazing mega thread from a few years ago. I'm sure it's easy to dig up. I'll dig it up later. Where someone drew comic renditions of the more famous Ian stories depicting a character named Dr. Ian, who was a therapist who had the head of the Get Out Frog.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Oh
the punchline
yeah.
tended to be they never ever said "get out." That was part of the joke, but they would sometimes like point to a sign on their wall that said "please leave." So they had some of the greatest hits like Barbaco and that guy who got his kid taken away by CPS because he lived in filth and all these other things.
Oh, I remember that story. At least that had a happy ending.
Yeah, he got his kid back. He like fixed his life and stuff. But I'll have to dig up that thread because the comics are great.
I think one of these game jams, I'm waiting for like the perfect theme to incorporate Grover House. That would be my dream.
Grover House in the sunken bathtub.
Oh, nice. So yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it here for now. Let's give the credits another look. Look at all those
Man,
amazing
the folks
people
who
that
made
helped.
this game were cool. I hope I can meet them someday.
Yeah. And that's FU from Uranus too.
Nice. I haven't played it yet, but I will.
Definitely do. And at some point, we're going to get another build out as soon as Twitch doesn't lock out new uploads. Or itch, yeah.
Twitch, itch, same thing.
Same thing. It's video games, whatever. Whatever these kids use.
It's the Instagram Snapchats.
All the kids are just tweaking each other. I don't understand.
Giving each other Instagrats.
So thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for coming on, man. Definitely looking forward to the next game jam.
Yeah, thanks
Yeah,
for
for
coming
sure.
by. Great to speak to you finally.
Yeah, I know. Same with you.
Hell yeah. Alright, next up we're going to have Pong II with SupSuper and Raujinn.
Y'all there?
So am I supposed to like shut up now, or can I still like?
You can stay and chill. That's cool.
Yeah, we've definitely had it's Jamflix and chill. You jam and you chill.
All right.
Yeah, although you're very quiet.
I'm here. I was just muted.
Hello.
Sup, soups.
Yeah, Raujinn's a bit quiet.
So quiet.
Speak up, man!
The irony.
And I say as I'm usually the quiet one.
Also in the Twitch chat we have EcoJack, aka EcoBuns, who also did artwork for this game.
I so loved seeing all the art for this in progress.
SupSuper, you want to give a quick rundown of your game?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, my game. None of those other jerks did anything. Screw them.
That's
Away
it.
with you. But yeah, Pong II is, well, what it says on the name. It's Pong with more dumber anime stuff we came up with on top. We kind of spent a lot of time trying to figure out what we wanted to make a necessary sequel out of. We thought of taking Pong and maybe making it an RPG, making it a visual novel. We went through all kinds of ideas, and we just kind of landed at this just Pong with more abilities and characters and a bunch of anime stuff you'll see later, and somehow it came out an actual game, which I still can't believe.
I hadn't actually seen Disco Duck before. That's awesome.
Disco Duck is great.
Yeah.
He was going.
Yeah, we
to
had a
be,
bunch of leftover art, and we needed a tutorial, so I figured, hey, I'll just throw him in because he's awesome.
Which characters were designed by Raujinn and which were designed by Eco?
Raujinn, you wanna?
Hello.
Hello.
Right. Well, our boy Nimbus on the left there is Eco's design, my drawing, and he did the rats, both the design and the art in this particular case.
Those rats look so cool in that they look precisely like the kind of thing I'd find emblazoned on some kind of extreme merchandise from the 90s, in my opinion. Nimbus also looks cool and resembles an interesting hero from the 90s, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm rubbing my
Yeah,
chin
I
on
wonder
that
who
one.
it could be.
Oh god, I just got it.
Good job.
Yes, there was going to be a final boss to justify him, but oh hey, the anime has arrived.
You gotta have your animes. I think we all went into this making this as anime as possible, even though I don't think any of us are that into anime, but it was just like a good gimmick to go with.
Well, I think early on, even back when it was an RPG, we had the idea of them having special abilities, even if whether they were going to be ultimates or whatever. And I think we always wanted them to have some kind of cut-in or something, because it was an opportunity for us to do some extra art, if nothing else.
Yeah.
I think in the end, I lifted the style entirely from Azure Striker, if anybody knows what that is.
Not familiar.
Yeah. Is that Azure Striker Gunvolt and everything?
It is indeed.
Yeah, the not Mega Man thing.
So, Soups approached me about doing some voice work. And I was like, well, I don't know. It depends on how big the script is. And it wasn't big, but as soon as I saw I could do the waifu voice I do for my bad anime streams, I was like, oh, hell yes. I'm all about it.
God, getting the voices for this game was a hell of an adventure because,
I helped with that.
yeah.
Well, mainly by saying, just ask Mihai, he'll do it.
Yeah, I mean, just, you know, to the end, nobody really wanted to think about music or voices or scripts or whatever. It was just like a nice extra, but we don't have time to think about it. I was like, last day, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get some voices for this. We don't have any script, we don't have anything. I just rushed through my contacts, asking random people. I asked Xibanya, I asked Mihai stuff. I
mean, what other contacts do you have about voice acting?
I barely have any lines to give them. I just tell them, just improvise, and just somehow in the end we got all the voices in it.
I mean, who other than me and Mihai would you ask?
Yeah.
Sorry, I do want to give one quick shout out to the final boss attack from Sonic 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that's directly where I based the art on as well.
While we're talking about voice acting, the damage sounds by your boy Nimbus here, I provided from Fighter 2 assets.
Yeah, I remember that was the perfect thing because you were like, what sounds do I have of a Naut Cloud? And he was just like, yeah.
Well, I mean,
Slime Fighter has a perfect Naut Cloud. Let's use that.
I mean, we got Screaming Color on as the hero of Slime Fighter 2 because he does that perfect, like, generic teenage boy in anime voice.
Yeah. I was also impressed with Mihai's range, how he can do a very edgy character we'll see next, and as well as some cartoon rats.
Oh, he's amazing. He does everything. Although, oh yeah, the fun fact is his damage sounds in this are also from Slime Fighter 2 because we're added that last minute. Except the damage sounds here were from me. I did damage sounds in the booth because I was having fun.
Wait, which sounds do you mean? I think the only sounds I ended up using from Slime Fighter are the protagonists. Everything else is original.
Oh, you did. You actually got some damage sounds from Mihai in the end, because I also.
Oh yeah, I did.
I gave you grunts.
Yeah, but yeah, he ended up.
Oh yeah, his talking's original.
Answering me. Yeah.
Yeah. The only Slime Fighter 2 stuff I provided was grunting, which I figured was kosher.
Yeah, but in the end he got back to me, so I just used that. He has a very weird schedule.
You know,
I mean, it's my fault
It's telling
because
me.
it's my fault because we waited last minute to get all of this in, like just like 1 weekend before the deadline when the game was like nothing, and suddenly after a weekend it's like all this stuff, and we're just like, how did we get here?
I'm gonna add that I
Crazy.
really appreciate the special attacks having the katakana.
That is pretty sweet.
It just needed it for that little bit extra anime.
I love the robot girl. What's fun about that voice is it's not actually like my speaking voice at all, as you know, but I tend to do deep voice female characters, so it's a bit of a stretch. And that's one of the reasons why SupSuper I gave you so many takes was once I finally found the placement for that character, I was like, yes, I found it! I better do like a million takes of this.
Yeah, it was just like for us, like a few days to the deadline, we're like, oh god, we gotta pick one of these, and we got so much stuff to do. We figured it all out in the end. And yeah, that's Pong II. That's we had plans to actually have some, little cutscenes and stuff, really sell the anime in between, but we'll probably put them in after the judging stuff, post jam.
I love how clever it is that the logo is the subtitle.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
The 2 paddles.
Yeah. We actually had a whole thing, although most of it didn't make it into the game, where every character and everything had a paddle in there somewhere. But this is probably like the most art a Pong game has ever gotten. If Raujinn wants, he can show the Trello where we have all our concept art for this, and so much stuff that didn't make it in.
I'll open it up to the public at some point soon, yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe show it here during the Jamflix, or do you want to save it for later?
Well, I don't know what button I'm supposed to press, so that's the...
it's the thing on the top where it says Teams Only. Did you just make it public?
Nah.
SupSuper, how did you do the ponging of the balls? Is that like you take the angle of how it's coming in? Like,
God, don't tell me about the ponging off the ball. That's like the worst thing.
It's not good unless the balls pong.
Jerry, you just can't ask how somebody pongs their balls.
Yeah, so more fun DevTales, like, originally this was just gonna be like me programming and Raujinn and EcoJack doing the art. I still have no idea how the hell I convinced 2 artists to working with me. It was just so out of the blue, like, hey, do you want to in us in this jam? Okay, and suddenly there was a team. But yeah, the Pong physics were what killed me, because everyone's always like, hey, we'll do Pong. Everyone does Pong. It's easy, right? And I spent so much goddamn time trying to get the physics right.
Oh yeah, IJ always said, "Oh, you're making a game for the first time. Make Arkanoid."
There's so many like little, like most of the Pong physics are just kind of half Unity, half our own, and it just like reflects on the edges, and then when it hits the paddle, it tries to do that thing where you can like shove it the angle higher or lower depending on how the paddle's going, all that sort of stuff. Because if you just do Pong and it just basically reflects every collision, it's really boring.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering how you're doing that, because is it like rotation involved? Are you using quaternion soups?
No, don't tell me about quaternions. They don't exist.
You gotta use the quaternions. All the cool kids use the quaternions.
But
I want to guess.
When the ball hits the paddle, we calculate like which position of the paddle is on, like if it's in the center, top, bottom, and then we offset the angle it's using by that.
Nice.
I guess it's kind of quaternions. I don't know. It's at this point not even I understand, because if you go look at our Pong physics code, half of it is commented out and half of it is just shouting into the void, because so much of it we had to hack, because there's a lot of edge cases in Pong, like the paddle wedges into the ball, and then sometimes Unity doesn't like it, and then the ball floated off the field and other kinds of nonsense, and we were just like, we're never gonna get this done by the deadline. And somehow Raujinn just took the code and just messed it all up, and it worked, and I was happy.
How did you do the enemy AI?
Yeah, Raujinn can explain that since he did all the attacks and stuff, or do you mean just general AI?
The AI, like, because I assume that they get harder as you go on. Like, how do you do Pong AI?
Well, the secret is you just make it like try to follow the ball, and it just looks really clever on its own. It's not really doing anything fancy. Yeah, because we were like, we're not gonna have time to do fancy AI, so it just like tries to follow the ball, and it has a bunch of parameters we can define to make it easier or harder, like how strictly it follows the ball and how frequently it attacks and stuff like that. But it's not like super clever about it. Like it doesn't even try to dodge your attacks. But
Nice.
all the attacks and stuff were done by Raujinn, though, which I'm really impressed. I know jack shit about the Unity animator and stuff, and he did a really good job with that, setting all those up.
Are those particles the smoke coming off?
Yeah, they're sprites on particles, I think.
And what about the trail, like on the scythe and the ball? Are those particles?
I think that's a trail, Unity trail, with possibly sprites there. I know Raujinn's being very quiet. He's the artist.
I thought Unity trails were part of the particle system, but I
work
don't
out
know.
how the heck to get a public link. I found that eventually, and B, set the board to public so that people could actually look at it if they wanted. So
Well,
yeah,
it
that's
says public,
Oh,
so I
so much
think
art.
you
This is
should have
awesome.
fixed it.
that's all the artwork, all the concept stuff from the early stuff, to the stuff that we did eventually end up using.
I would totally buy an art book of this and/or.
Yeah, we kept saying that during the jam.
Looking at the amount of it.
Yeah, we kept saying during the jam, we're just gonna ship an art book and not a game, because it took so long for the game to come together. You have no
Yeah,
idea.
it really did.
But yeah, if you want that in Hippo, you can show the art in the stream later, just because, for heaven's sake. 'Cause,
Oh,
man,
sure,
there
I'll
is
have
so
to
much.
set that up.
Yeah, just
I'll
later.
leave Disco Duck on stream while y'all talk.
Sure. But yeah, I guess this is what happens when you have a team with just like 2 amazing artists and 1 shitty programmer, and you make Pong. You just get tons of art. Probably never
I
gonna
mean,
get
heck,
to use,
we
but yeah.
decided. I mean, I think one of the reasons we decided to go for such an art-heavy game was we wanted to play to the team's strengths. That's why we decided against doing a visual novel as well, because we didn't have any writers.
Yeah. I mean, we did have plenty of anime, but not a lot of writing.
No.
Well, but that is kind of authentic to anime, is it not?
Yeah,
Mm.
but I mean, even coming up with bad writing on the fly is really hard. Like maybe coming up with lines for the characters for you
Yeah,
to say
I'm
was like,
ripping it.
I felt really bad. I think first time I talked to Michael, just asking him, "Oh, we don't got the script or anything. Just improvise, you know. It's like the last day, and we're terrible at this. Do a thing," and he did amazing. Yeah. I remember for the Reaper, we just got the idea of just making him a Cold Steel the Hedgehog, and he did a great job just doing that as well. There are so many dumb ideas in this that somehow worked. I think that's the thing I'm most shocked about this game, where we just make like Pong II end in the end. Wow, it's a game, and it's kind of fun. I don't believe it.
I don't.
Just went
It's
through
probably
so
not
much.
intentional, but I think it's hilarious that you guys made him be the Reaper because his DAW or his audio editing software is called Reaper. So just.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, look at all the art that went into this game that you'll never get
It's
to
a
see
lot
ever.
of
And
art.
as you can
Also-
see, you can see everyone having a little paddle or whatever in the concepts, all that kind of little touches.
I feel like Raujinn and Eco's style really go well together.
Oh yeah,
It feels very consistent.
I worked with them both on Dungeon Profiteer and no, EcoJack wasn't on
Eco
Dungeon
didn't
Profiteer.
do Dungeon Profiteer as far
No,
as I
that
know.
was oh crap, I'm blanking out this morning. But still,
There are too many cooks.
yeah, too many cooks. I'm assuming people were there that weren't. EcoJack still does amazing art though, and Raujinn did amazing art on that. How We Stole the Time Machine, Headphone Hero.
Yeah, I feel they really played off each other's strengths and weaknesses in this one, since Eco is obviously better with animals, Raujinn's better with people, and they kind of one did a concept and the other fleshed it out, and vice versa. It worked out really great.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things is seeing people draw each other's like designs.
Yeah, in the end, it
Oh.
actually came out surprisingly consistent.
Yep, I drew his.
Yeah, look at all these
Drew his
colors.
members.
I see a
character
disco
in
man
my-
here.
So I
Yeah, that's what
believe
became
that
Disco
Eco
Duck.
prefers to be called they.
Is that Bubsy?
Yes,
Yep.
probably.
Nice.
We had a lot of also ideas of just taking some other mascots like what was it? Battletoads, Bubsy, other dumb stuff like that. So yeah, lots of literally the Pong paddle.
The
That
paddle
was
and
there.
the lips on the frog.
Yeah.
They
I
did a
did
great
love how
job
all
with that
every
battle
character
toad.
had a paddle that matched their character.
Think of
Hey,
Oh,
I
crazy
said,
duck.
Oh darn the time machine.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah,
personnel,
everyone else
kid.
wanted references to their old games. I don't want any references to solvers. Everyone forget that existed.
I thought that's what the rats were all about.
No, that was all eco. I mean, you could consider it a sewer solvers thing, I guess. I mean, one of the ideas was doing sewer solvers too, but I was like, no, there's no way. No, and no. But yeah, I think our one weakness to this jam, I would say, is that we really spent a lot of time just like really nailing down the idea. Even when we had decided on like Pong, what are we gonna do with Pong? We had tons of concepts. We prototyped a bunch, and it was still like taking forever just for us to decide: is this good? Is this bad? What are we gonna do? Eventually, in the end, we just went, just do this thing, and it's done, and we'll hope it's fun, and it ended up fun. So there you go. Because it turns out having too many ideas is just as bad as having too little.
I love that neckbeardy mage kid. Or I assume that's neck, or is that a cape? I thought it was a dude, but maybe it's a girl with hair. I can't tell. It's
It's a cape.
androgynous.
I think it's a cape. That's
I
another
saw
thing I
it
pointed.
as a full beard at first.
I think that's another thing I pointed out. I love how all our characters are kind of like gender ambiguous, so you can just think of them
That's fun.
as either or,
That's
which is
that's
also a
super
very
neat.
anime thing. So yeah.
The duck has. It's like it's a very JoJo-y thing, but well, I guess the era thing, 80s, 70s disco. I fucking love that duck.
That duck even
Yeah.
has chest hair somehow.
Yeah, it's a shame we didn't manage to give him a level, so I managed to sneak him in the tutorial at least. Because yeah, I'm surprised a lot of people said the game feels short. Because when I was playing and testing this, I kept feeling like the rounds took forever. But we did have a whole lot more characters planned out. But making characters and the text and all that stuff just takes a long time.
I always stress out about my game stuff lasting too long, but I think it also starts to feel like a long time because you're used to it and you get anxious, especially when you're watching other people play it.
Mm.
Wait. Disco Duck Doom Guy poses?
So yeah, we called the portraits Doom Guy because that was like our idea.
Oh, that's
Characters
great.
would have like a portrait like the Doom Guy portrait at the bottom, and that ended up being the code name for that feature.
I love the getting hit in the head with the disco ball.
Mm.
Pretty sure it's called that in code as well. Like Doom Guy.
Yeah,
face.
yeah, it's the Doom Guy.
Wow, that looks great.
Yeah, that was at least a good thing once the finished
it wasn't
assets
intense
started
enough,
coming out
right?
and people started loving it. Yeah, this is the most art Pong has ever seen, for sure.
Man, y'all did such a great job on all three fronts.
God, I haven't been in a jam in like years. I have no idea how I managed to do a thing. It's just like, oh, I could do a jam again. Fuck it, I'm gonna do a jam. Who's gonna be in the jam? You, and let's do a thing. And somehow it worked. It was just so crazy.
I see you had to kill a feature, not Aerith?
Not Territ was gonna
Yeah.
be the final boss. You know, to rival Not Cloud.
That's silly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of features were cut for sure. You can see, like in the original concepts, we had a lot of stuff planned out, like more mechanics in the attack, stuff like that, and we just went, no, we can't do this, we can't do that. Yeah, like special meters and parries and charging, and which a bunch of people that played this game ended up giving us that feedback. Oh, the game could really use this or that, and we were like, yeah, we know, we had that.
Oh, these are cool. I love
Yeah.
seeing people's notes. Man, you guys got to do like, I guess this video is sort of like a post-mortem, but yeah, art book, post-morty, something.
Yeah, we'll probably do a proper postmortem and link this and stuff. I always said at the end of this, man, we got to show this to people because look at all these goddamn concepts.
Looks like there was a lot of art made before there was ever dev demanding it, which is kind of fun because usually when I do a game jam, usually I'm not the artist, and usually I go to the artist once I'm sure of what I need.
Yeah, I guess that's what happens when you're like stacked with artists during our concept stage. You know, the artists can just draw what they're thinking, what would make a good or bad idea, and yeah, I kind of prefer it because for me as a programmer, it's easier to. Often when you discuss stuff, you think everyone's on the same level, but actually everyone's seeing a different thing. So these kind of concepts really helped.
Although it kind of makes sense. I've always been like the team lead or the project manager in all my jams. And the one jam where I was the artist, yeah, there was just a fuckload of art generated thrown at the programmer. And that was Slime Fighter 2.
Yeah, I think in this jam we were all terrible at ideas. Let's just throw ideas at the wall, see what sticks.
But you got some great artists. Yeah. Even those background elements, those are nice.
Yeah,
Ooh,
those ended up never being used besides for placeholder, but yeah.
That looks so good.
I think Eco did these.
Yeah, these are Ecos.
Yeah.
A little demon monster.
Yeah.
I love the gradients and everything.
Yeah, we definitely had tons more art than we can do anything with. I was constantly going, okay, we got tons of art. Now we actually got to put it in the game, guys. Calm down. But yeah, I think what impressed me, like as versus other teams, is a lot of teams like right before the jam or right at the start, they were immediately, okay, I have an idea, I'm gonna do this, and that's it. And while we have no ideas, we have too many ideas. We spent so long just deciding on an idea. There's some concepts there, like at some point we wanted to do like more of an Undertale sort of Pong or Undertale parody where the paddles were the characters. So we went through so many ideas without even getting them into like an actual game, just like deciding on an idea. So yeah, this for a Pong game, this went through so much. Really, it's crazy.
We sort of drew inspiration from a certain other video game, which is a puzzle game, which has far too much art for it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, once Raujinn reminded me of Puyo Puyo, which basically is a puzzle game with far too much anime. We were like,
oh no, not Puyo Puyo. You know my opinion of Puyo Puyo.
I know, that's why I mentioned it.
No.
We might still add like, yeah, these are also backgrounds that were going to be for the quote-unquote cutscenes
Nice.
and stuff like that. We might still add them just to have little in-betweens the rounds and stuff for the post-jam build. But yeah, I mean, in the end, I'm happy how this came out because for the longest time I was thinking, God, I'm not even gonna have a finished game by the deadline, and somehow in the end it all wrapped up. Even though I was making a tutorial hours before the last day and all sorts of stuff.
Ooh, dang.
Yeah, that looks great.
Yeah, I think all these backgrounds are more of eco stuff. I gotta find some time to put them in the game. I mean, just look at it. It's a shame half of this didn't make it in.
It's the Pong entity.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys just fix this up a bit more, you could sell it on Steam for like $2.
Not with this name.
Well, that's true.
No.
Yeah, I'm not really interested in selling. I don't know everything else. I think everyone just like probably wants to take the cool concepts or characters or whatever they made. That's fine by me. Because there's a lot of cool characters here.
It's a very gorgeous game. Well, yeah, awesome work, guys.
Yeah, that's how you make a Pong II, everyone. There was actually, I think, someone else was making a Pong at some point, and we were kind of worried, oh god, someone else was making a Pong, and then we never heard from them again, so we won. Woo.
Oh yeah, that always happens in Jam where people are like, oh no, someone's doing the same idea as me, and somebody always craps out at the end.
Yeah. Especially in this jam, there was a lot of concern. God, there's going to be so many repeated ideas, but somehow, no. We just got like 2 basketballs.
I was super worried about there being like 30 Pongs.
Yeah, but it's always like, people can have the same idea. It sounds trite, but it's true. Like, nobody's going to do it the way you would do it.
Oh god, yeah, the 2 basketball 2s are totally different.
Not to mention, I believe we had 2 games with dogs doing sports.
Yeah.
Did
Well,
we?
I think they had different inspirations. One was Airbud and the other, I forget what it was.
Ain't no rule against 2 games about dogs doing sports.
I mean, if
That is
nobody
very
did a
true.
Bud movie sequel, I would be very disappointed. So I'm glad someone did. Because goddamn those movies.
I gotta say, I'm super happy about the games that actually took sequels from things that were in other games. Later on, we're gonna have a Trip to the Moon 2, and that's a sequel to that super old French silent film. You know, where they fly a spaceship
Oh shit,
into the
I know
moon's
one.
eye.
I really like that game.
That's awesome.
That was really good.
All right, well, thanks a bunch. SupSuper, Raujinn, you go jack out in the chat.
Thank you
This
very much.
is Pong II.
You're welcome. Yeah, go try it out. We might add more stuff later after the jam. We'll see.
All right, next up we're gonna have Nihiloss with Earhart of Darkness.
Awesome. I was hoping he would make Earhart of Darkness.
Well, it happened somehow.
But you didn't ask me to come back and reprise the role.
Well, you know, it's an EGA game. They didn't have like voice acting back then. What do you mean, like
it's
the
fine.
previous game had it?
All they had was creative use of PC speaker.
But if you asked me to, I would.
Maybe in High Noonan.
And I always love that CGA look. Did you say you did all this with shaders, or is this a sprite?
Yeah, this is just a sprite I made in Sprite. But all the sort of like tiles and the tanks and the planes and everything, that's all 3D.
I love the recursive reference there of the title logo looks like Apocalypse Now, which was based on Heart of Darkness.
I can just hear Mihai saying this right now. Alright. Seriously, super good job with all the portraits here. Like nailing the EGA. We don't have proper colors for people, so everybody is just like carrot colored.
Yeah,
You're
this-
either red or white.
I love how this does evoke the era so well.
Also, this music is heavily based / completely ripped off from Super Metroid.
I'm loving this music. How did you make
Oh,
it?
nice.
This is using VST, which closely emulates the original Sound Blaster, which was an FM synthesizer that only had one carrier and one modulator, so it's really basic, but you get this really nice, warm synth sound from it.
Nice.
I'll see if I can get the link, actually, if anyone with a DAW wants to play around with it, because it was...
Heck yeah.
Haha, British repeal joke.
Yeah, the plot is probably the weakest part of this in that I basically wrote everything in about half a day and didn't really proofread any of it.
We're about to have a nice little holiday in Cambodia. Lindborgium. Can I get an explanation for that last line?
Methil is a rather grim town in Fife, which is part of Scotland. References that no one will get. Haha.
There were.
Is that like a slough?
Yeah, maybe slightly worse than Slough.
Oof.
There were gags in 1936 that did I get the year 1930s? Fuck. That I only got months after the fact.
Cool.
But I enjoyed them anyway. But you heard the audio I gave you, me being like, I don't know what the fuck this is. I only figured out later that like one of the things that they were talking about was like some sort of alcoholic beverage only available where you're at.
Oh, it's actually a soft drink that's basically used as a hangover cure. But
See, I still didn't get it. But I enjoy it. It gives a nice charm to everything.
Also, I definitely want to heavily emphasize, this plane is 3D. This is crazy.
Yeah, this looks really freaking sweet. Because is this the part where you did the shader to make it CGA?
Yeah.
Because it's that beautiful combination of, you know, everybody's nostalgic, but they don't really want what the past actually was. They want, you know, like the feeling they got from the thing they played in the past. So I love things like this where it's sort of all of the good things about modern stuff with the good things about old stuff. Because this has the feel for sure.
I'm already fighting the tank.
Yeah, this is a slight cheat because this is actually quite a later build than the one was sent in for judging. So I've actually added a few things, like there's a mini map now, so it's not so easy to get lost.
Nice. So you're doing that with like an inset camera view?
No, that's actually a texture.
Dang. I always just lazily do all my mini maps that way.
Oh, nice. I can actually see when the enemies are actually pathing towards me now.
And you got some screen shake. You got some juice.
That juice.
Yeah.
So the animation of the water, is that by shader? Is that a texture animation?
Yeah, that is a ridiculously expensive shader operation for what it is. There's basically a mesh that's separate from the water, which just has the sort of scrolling thing that is mostly transparent, but some of it's got a white line on it. And you know how you can sort of like wrap everything so it's all rectilinearly, even if it's not actually a straight line as an actual mesh? Probably explained this wrong, but like it's basically like how they did water in Wind Waker when they were doing the ripples. They would have like a circular mesh, but they'd unwrap it so it was all sort of in a straight line. So they just scroll something up vertically, and then you get these sort of like nice ripples. So it's basically just using the same idea.
Neat.
Oh, the map switched sides.
Yeah, that's a bug.
Oh, I thought that was a clever UI thing. We can.
Oh
still
yeah, I
roll
mean
with that.
it's an undocumented feature.
There we go. I'm building up some money real quick so I can get some nice upgrades from this first airfield.
Good plan. I'd recommend going for the bombs and the armor first.
Yeah, when I was first playing this, I didn't understand that bombs were also automatically used, much like shooting at planes. I had thought that when you shot at the tanks, you were using just the regular little pistol here. Let's see, I don't have that available to me, but I can get a twin machine gun.
Nice. There's also a dev console if you want to screw around.
Ooh.
Gotta see
Is
the
that
dev
is that the tilde key?
Yeah,
is.
the cheat code to enable the cheats is come on and slam and welcome to the jam.
That's awesome.
Oh, Come on, CMON. And it's all one word. Oh, so close. There was CMON, sorry.
Oh wait, did I get it right?
Yeah, it's CMON rather than CUMON.
Oh, that's where I'm going wrong. There we go. Cheats enabled.
So if you've ever played Quake or Doom or StarCraft, you might be able to work some out.
Lol.
Try Impulse 9.
Oh, that one doesn't work, sorry. I should
Oh,
have put that
dang.
one in. No target does, though. Did you do IDKFA?
I think I did.
Check out your inventory then.
Oh, wow. Oh yeah, that might be a little overkill. All the best stuff is up at the top.
Yep.
All right, let's roll. Ah, dang. That was a suggestion from chat. All right, let's go ahead and just start wrecking dudes. Wow.
There's also quad damage. I was going to put a quad damage power up in as a hidden thing, but it's just a cheat, sadly.
Backstab. Yeah, it was only on the Gong Show, I believe, that I realized that I could do backstabs. I think it was pointed out at some point, but I never got propellers enough to remember it was a thing.
Yeah, it's a sort of late game thing. That's one thing. This game still really needs more balance work.
Yeah. Now that I'm fully aware of it, though, I definitely want to use it all the time.
And you really do need it for the final boss, I think.
Ooh, can we go straight to the final boss?
Yeah. Do you remember how you skip a level in StarCraft?
No, I don't.
Oh, maybe we can ask the chat.
Chat, do you know how to skip a level in StarCraft?
Man, now I feel bad. I've
Particle
never played
cannon.
StarCraft.
Holy cow, I never saw any of these enemies.
How many enemy types are there?
There's 3 different types of tanks, 3 different types of turrets, and 3 different types of planes. Some are just palette swaps, but the highest tier ones, they're separate models. So it's like a MiG for the aircraft, and whatever the hell that is for the tank.
And you did all these in Blender, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Actually, yeah, here comes the MiG.
Got him. Oh wait, I'm getting hurt? Oh no. Hold on. Oh,
Sorry,
does this
that's-
mean that I just won't die, but I'll still do damage?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
basically it. I left it on so that I could see that the damage was still working, but you just don't die if you run out of fuel or health.
Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and sell everything in my inventory. That's a lot of dash. Cannot refuel reactor. Oh, I didn't even realize the reactor makes it so you don't have to refuel. That is pretty neat.
The reactor's very, very hacky. It basically sets your fuel to max int. So when I first implemented it, when you picked up fuel, your plane would crash because it would abruptly have minus 2 billion fuel.
Heavily in fuel debt. God, I'm just murdering everything. This is great. I have no regrets about using cheats for this right now.
You could always try going northeast, see what's up there.
Ooh, sure thing. So I definitely did play this a fair bit, and I kept getting murdered over by the starting area. So this is a nice level of catharsis, just going in and wrecking everybody's faces.
Yeah.
Omae wa mo shinderu. Holy crap. So, was there anything else that you wanted to get in that you weren't able to get in on time?
Yeah, quite a lot actually. I was originally going to have it that with the fuel, you could actually use that to do special attacks, like you know, sort of piercing attacks, or like shoot 2 enemies at once, or like become invulnerable for rounds, stuff like that. And I was going to have status effects like piercing, where you'd actually start leaking fuel at a much faster rate. And that would like make you critically vulnerable to fire damage and just stuff like that. More sort of RPG-y stuff, like you'd expect in a roguelike.
I'm starting to get close to the northeast.
Yeah. I don't have the Twitch open. Have they said anything about cow levels?
They said that there is no cow level.
All right, you might want to.
Confusing.
Yeah, you might want to see what happens.
All right, let's give that a go. All one word.
No. Sorry, it's confusing.
Oh wow, everything just died.
Hey, I recognize that music.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The main music is actually the same music as, or the same real chord progression as the previous game, just much, much slower.
That fire is very nice. Is that like a clever use of static sprites there?
That's just a particle system. I've just got it so that, you know how there's a color over time thing? There's one where it's actually constant rather than a blend. So I thought, well, it's EGA. I don't want things blending. So it just goes straight from white to yellow to red to grey.
Ah, that's neat.
Yeah, you did a lot of really clever stuff with shaders and particle stuff, and I think that's awesome for a game that looks so retro and sprite heavy.
I wonder who it is. What?
What? Plot twist.
Oh my god, this is great. The spruce goose. Howard, no means no. What is a man? Alright, so he's up at the up in the northeast, right?
Yep, but he's coming to you.
Oh, that he is. Alright, I'm gonna see if I can backstab him. Oh, hey, it works.
Yeah.
That's great, just watching that giant plane flipping around.
Yeah, I did have things a bit slower to start off with, but it just got so annoying waiting for your turn to come round again.
Yeah, it's always the thing
Gotta
in
do
like
it.
late game XCOM and stuff is just chilling and being like, I want to play again now.
Yep.
Yeah.
How's that gonna go this time? The horror! The horror! Aye. Another time portal.
Wow, it's CGA colors again for some reason.
Whoa.
Wait, he's awake.
Wait, what? Wow, we got a lot done in the time it takes to take a nap. Blew up Lindbergh, took down Howard Hughes.
I like how you really did find like kind of shitty people from history to make fun of.
Oh yeah. I do like this kind of offshoot of the Back to the Future theme.
Yeah, this was fun trying to realize in ad-lib sound format.
EcoJack said in chat earlier with the last fight, coming through the fire like Sephiroth. Damn.
So yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, really nice work. I'm super impressed.
So I noticed you have here an option to turn off the health and fuel bars.
Yeah, originally those weren't going to be there at all, just like a proper roguelike. But
Ooh.
then Tom R suggested them, and I thought, oh, well, I'll give it as an option. And then I ended up just having it on by default, because I always ended up using them.
Well, let's go the super hard route this time.
Yeah.
No health bars.
Legit. You could use quad damage, I think. But you could turn it off after a while, maybe.
What is the command for quad damage?
Answer now in chat.
Heh. This is a much different game. I mean, it's also a little disorienting because I can't see my own health bars, and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna know if I'm close to death. And then my eyes slowly pan down to the health here.
Yeah, you also get those audio warnings and stuff, so it's not as bad as you'd think. But when you're dealing with enemies, you're just like, how many more shots does this guy take and everything?
Of course, as soon as I get the bombs, all these planes come out. So much money. So do bombs also work on the anti-aircraft?
Yeah, yeah.
There we go. Oh no, is that shooting at me while I'm at the airfield?
Yep.
Huh.
It's fine, you can repair.
Ooh, twin machine gun. Alright, I think I'm doing pretty good here. I'm gonna go ahead and buy a couple wrenches, go ahead and repair. Alright, can't quite backstab you yet. I think I need a better propeller in order to backstab.
Yeah, basically just so you can get around quicker.
Let me pull up the map. I gotta say, this is not going too bad this time around.
Oh well.
Oh, I think I'm actually about to... There we go. Crash and burn. So, do you have more post-jam plans for this? Do you feel like this is...
Yeah. I'm gonna try and work out how to do a terrain generator. I was originally going to make one, but I realized I really had no idea how to do it, and I didn't really have enough time because I was already starting like about 6 days late or something. So yeah, I'm just gonna try and work out a way to make randomized generated terrain, which is, you know, good and fun, which will probably take me forever, but it should be interesting.
Yeah, this is a really cool game. I can't wait to see where you go with it.
Oh, I think I have an idea. Oh wait, what's the command for turning on cheats again?
Come on and slam, and welcome to the jam.
There we go. We're gonna start off fighting Howard Hughes right away.
Okay, this will be interesting.
Where's he at? Oh, all the way up top.
Oh, black sheep wall reveals the entire map.
Oh, what is it again?
Black sheep wall. Wall.
Oh. What is that a reference to?
StarCraft again, I'm afraid.
Huh.
Still haven't completed it legitimately.
There we go. I got some weapons for this fight. Alright, Howard Hughes, you going down. Oh! Oh, wow. Oh, that was not a fight at all. This is super well done. I even like that there's like a little shadow right down below.
Oh, that was my secret shame. That was the one thing I couldn't work out how to do point filtering on. So it's the one thing on the screen that isn't a CGA color around the edges. Oh.
I think I noticed something like that on the boss fight plane too.
Yeah.
But considering what you're already getting the shaders to pull off right now, it's still damn impressive. I also like the little wave animation for all the bits of shore here. Satisfying. Alright, thank you for bringing Earhart of Darkness on.
No worries.
Yeah, it was awesome. I enjoyed it.
Thanks.
Next up is going to be A Trip to the Moon 2. Joining us for that is LowenSoDium.
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going?
Pretty good.
Do you want to give us a brief rundown of A Trip to the Moon 2?
Sure. So I too got a little bit of a late start on this game jam. First, I had a hard time coming up with a concept, and then my first concept didn't pan out. I was going to try to make a sequel to House Party called Party House 2, where when you talk to people, to trick them into having sex with you, like you do in that other game, that they just stop talking to you and start avoiding you. But I couldn't get the models to import into Unreal correctly for that one. So then I started trying to think about what else doesn't need sequels, and I figured a sequel to a 116-year-old sci-fi movie is completely unnecessary.
So it's kind of funny how you went from like a sequel to something totally lowbrow to like this movie is now considered to be like a huge part of history. It's like art and classic and shit like that. So that's funny.
Yeah, I'd like to think that I've got a broad range. I mean, my first real game jam game was about a game where you eat funnel cakes and have explosive diarrhea, and my second one was about a mental illness and being in a nursing home. So
Ooh, this is neat.
Is the French guy modeled off de Gaulle?
Actually, so I was working with Inevitable Cheese again for this game for my art, and I was describing to him that I would like some sort of vaguely French-looking military type person as the transport czar for the game. And when we did a search for that style of hat on, it's called a cappy on Wikipedia, there is a picture of a man who looks very much like that, who I will be honest, I don't know the name of, but that's who Inevitable Cheese based that portrait on.
It's beautiful though. The art is really appealing.
I like Inevitable Cheese's art style. It has a very early 90s.
Oh, the humanity.
Very early 90s DOS feel to me.
There we go. Next target is the moon. Oh, by the way, is this made in Unreal?
Yes, this is done in Unreal. It's done 100% in Blueprint.
Very nice.
The music's very soothing.
Those were all just external resources I found on, I can't even think of the name of the site. Give me a moment and I can tell you.
Are y'all hearing the music okay? I actually can't hear it from where I am.
Hearing it fine?
I can hear it.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Weird.
freemusicarchive.org is where I found this. This is from a free album called Bird Watching. I used the entire album and the song just for some nice, subtle piano music, the sort of thing you would hear with a silent movie. This one, I can give
Ooh.
you a little bit of a hint. This one's an easy level. If you just put the angle at 0 and power at 100, you can speedball it straight into the moon.
That's great. I was gonna say it looks like that. After a while, you hit escape velocity, it just shoots straight out.
That is correct. You do. Maybe it wasn't 100. Maybe it's a little lower, like maybe 80 or 90. But yeah,
We'll
you
go
can
with
hit
that.
it.
Wonderful job. I like the little sprite Frenchman there.
Is there a reason why it's sort of? I'm not sure what the musical instrument is, but it's like a bit like an accordion when your lunar lander's moving about.
So all the sound effects in this game. I used musical instrument samples. The cannon firing is a gong. The crashing sound is I believe a kettle drum or a tip pan maybe, and the rocket sound from the thrusters is a flute. It's sped up a little bit depending on which flute or which thruster power you're using. But it just seemed I was kind of still trying to stick with the silent movie motif where there weren't really sound effects. You just had musical cues.
Oh dang! I think I got this.
Love that pan and out thing.
So the camera when you're in the space mode, the artillery part of the game, is because the distance between the objects in space is so big. I had to make the camera zoom out at an exponentially higher rate the farther you zoomed out, and I had to make the bullet scale up in size the farther you zoomed out so that it would still be visible.
Very nice. Oh wait, we're going for Mars now? Oh boy. Oh yeah, there it is. Alright, can I just crank this up to 100? I'm just gonna fire and see what happens.
I was gonna say that's not the solution I designed the level for, but I don't know. Some of these can be done multiple ways.
Oh, they're not coming back. Haha, your travel by cannon technology has flaws. Oh wait, are they floating out into space? Like everything's getting like physically smaller, but the capsules stay in the same size.
Well, that's what I was saying. As you zoom out to keep the capsule visible because of the scales involved, I scale up the sprite size as you zoom out.
I just killed so many Frenchmen. Let's go with a 95, maybe? Oh no, the moon is definitely messing with that a bit. There we go. And there we go, we've just colonized Mars.
Nice.
I don't think that's where Mars should be. So
Maybe they can. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, how was the scope for your game? Were you able to get everything in you wanted?
Yeah, for the most part, I can't think of any feature that was really cut. I originally wanted to do a series of levels that I was scoping or trying to tune the difficulty to a point where they could be completed during the gong show without any problem. And then there are 12 more challenge levels that unlock after that that are considerably harder, but in case anybody enjoyed it, wanted to keep playing, I wanted to give them something. There's a couple of things I after having not touched the game in about a week, I'm looking at a little more critically. Like I think I would probably save your zoom out level when you restart from a failure. I did make it so that it saves your power and angle setting, but you still have to zoom back out to see anything.
Yeah, I feel like I always miss quality of life stuff like that until like I have a chance to chill for a moment.
I think this is it.
The biggest revision I went through in any of my play testing with people and when I was working on it was the control scheme for the lunar lander portion changed 3 or 4 times, and I was still getting some feedback from people that they think that it feels a little off, but I'm not really sure.
Oh, the power just makes it curve even harder. So, because you did this on Unreal, I'm assuming you had to work with paper 2D sprites, right?
Yes.
How was your experience with that?
So this is the second game I've made using paper 2D sprites, and for the most part, it's pretty usable. But I can tell that Epic has never released a game that was like a real game using it. It's missing just enough to feel like it's missing some of those little extra features that you want or need.
Yeah. I know they provide a tutorial with paper 2D stuff in it, but even then, when I was looking at that to get an idea of how it worked, there was so much stuff that felt missing. All right, do you have? Wait, I think I might actually have. Nope, I don't have that. Do you have a nice little cheaty angle for this one?
This is not the one I wrote down the cheat angle for, because this is not the hardest level. This one, hit restart if you zoom all the way out, and I think it's something like maybe like 40 or 42 degrees exactly, and you can type in that text box. You can type it in if you want. And I think you can just give it max power, and that'll get it there.
Max power.
Yeah, maybe it might be 40 then. I remember it's 40 something.
Try 41, see how that goes. Dead on. So what'd you make all the art in?
That was all done by Inevitable Cheese. I believe he does everything in Sprite.
Very nice. I've been noticing a lot more usage of that in this jam.
I use it a little bit. There's one animation in this game I did. You're about to see it because I didn't want to bug him for it because it was kind of a late addition. I mean, it's about as good of a program for doing that kind of work I know of. This is sort of the victory lap level. It's pretty much impossible to miss the sun.
Wait, is it? I think I see a little bit of blue down there.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
Oh yeah, no, it's a sun lake. Very rare to see. Oops. We have learned something today.
A dark day for French science. You just gotta watch out when that happens.
Oh, bonus levels. And these are the challenge levels you were talking about?
Yeah, when you go back to the main menu, there's an extra button for more levels that you can select now, and they get a lot more complicated. They involve a lot more gravity shots and slingshotting around things.
Bonus space.
We always got to respect somebody who does a physics-based game for a jam.
After doing something that's driven by physics, it's a little easier than doing something that's driven by AI. If you can make it work.
Interesting.
But that's also coming from somebody who's not a professional programmer, so
I mean,
I
if you
think this might be
program,
it.
then your opinions about programming are valid, in my opinion.
Hoo-wee. What a shot.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
somebody else said that this happened to them. I never was able to recreate it, so I don't know how you did that.
I test things for a living. It just happens naturally.
Well, if you hit escape, it'll take you back to the menu and you can pick that level again. Just
Nice.
click it. Yeah, there you
Oh, it's backwards.
go. Wow.
There we go. This is just getting insane-zier. Let's see if I can find that
I'm gonna have
sweet
to
angle
find
there.
this album after this because this is so soothing. The music's so soothing.
I just put a link to it in the Discord.
Cool, thanks.
The Lander levels use a different album. It's on the same site called Living with Trauma, which is a lot more soothing than it sounds.
Yeah, that's kind of a. Okay, I had to laugh at that, but yeah, that sounds ominous as a title.
When your balls are actually Uranus.
I shouldn't have laughed, but I did.
Fire away. Round the tip. Uh-oh. Doing some fine adjustments here, and this should be it. Oh, you can't land on any landing pad. Very nice.
Did Tom R do any consulting on this level?
No, this is a example of just parallel development.
Nice.
Uh-oh, seems like you managed to find that booster bug again.
Yeah, I was gonna say that game is the one that reminds me the most of this in a way.
Yeah, when he first posted a video of his in the Jam Discord, I pointed that out to him and said that his game reminded me a lot of Solar Jetman, which he said he had never played. I told him, well, he definitely should because it's a really good game, and his game looks like it's taking some of the best ideas from it.
Is Solar Jetman a, am I thinking of the Commodore 64 game? Or am I thinking of Jetpack?
So Solar Jetman was a NES game, and it's a sequel to a game called Lunar Jetman that I think was an Amiga game, maybe Commodore 64.
Ooh, I think I might be onto something here.
If that doesn't get it, it's going to get you very close.
So close. Hey. Moon apartments.
It's a hell of a commute.
It's not that long of one when you can travel by canyon.
That's true. So the French people on Mars, do you think they live in Marseille?
Haha.
Boo!
Yeah. So what does this thing at the end say? Omnia Vincit.
Liber Omnia Vincent. It's Latin for work conquers all.
Ah. And then we got a
Yeah.
little cannon tank there.
Yeah, at the very end of the original movie, there is a statue that has that inscribed on it. All right, so this is probably the hardest level in the game. It probably should have been the last level, or I probably should have made it easier. This one, I can tell you the cheat solution for after you try it a few times.
Yeah, definitely want to give this one a shot first. I think the only problem is the little pathfinding thing doesn't quite go out far enough. Does the wall have gravity?
No, the wall does not. It is just a barrier.
Alright, let's gun it then. What I'm gonna try to do is hug it as much as I can. Hug the donkey. Maybe this? Okay, this is a tough one. Cheat angle, por favor.
Okay, so the angle should be 142. And the power, this is where it's going to get interesting because Unreal doesn't have deterministic physics, and this power rating is going to be dependent a little bit on the power of your machine and how fast it's running. Even though I've got it set to calculate at a fixed tick rate and all that, it still gets a little weird. So the power should be 55.55 something. On my machine, it was 55.553, but I've seen it be as high as 55.557.
Let's pick a nice middle ground. 55.555. It's working! Kind of.
So I think if you're going to the right, you need to turn the power up.
So we'll try 7 out. You weren't kidding, this is a really tough one here. Oh, just barely caught it. Uh-oh. Alright, let's see how this works out. So I think what I'm trying to do is go for a very low angle and not too much power, just so I hook around the Earth.
This one I can say has multiple solutions. And I think what you got right there is a possibly close one if it doesn't get it.
I feel good about it. Capture, capture. I'll try that one out. So many dead Frenchmen.
That is one thing I did want to implement. I never got around to was having more variety in those messages.
I thought you were going to say, like, a wall at the end of the game that shows all the Frenchmen that have been lost.
Randomly generates hundreds of French names.
Doesn't Kerbal have something like that? All your
Something
dead
similar,
little
yeah.
Kerbals.
Could have done something like Super Meat Boy where it showed all your failed trajectories.
Oh yeah.
I think it's coming back.
You gotta go all the way back. You took the long way to Australia.
We're going to the sun.
Oh Lord, I hope I put a collision box out that way. I'm not sure if I did.
Oh.
Oh, there it is.
Alright, let's go ahead and try 59.3. That's space travel. Trial and error and adjusting numbers by 0.1. Wow. Oh, so close. Oh, is
so
this the
weird.
last one?
Yeah, this is the very last level. Oh, no, you went back to the base levels. It's
Oh,
so,
yep, still up.
but it is the last one. I think it's so weird that you're able to trigger that thruster bug so readily. I never could get it to recreate.
Oh. I did notice that when I touch something, that's when the controls for turning left and right start acting wonky.
Yeah, I think what is happening is it's changing the rotation of the object, and then the and then the mouse inputs are not adjusting the relative rotation properly.
All right, I'm gonna give this one more shot.
Just so you know, if you don't succeed, there is no like secret ending or anything after this.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, count it. That was like 5 landings. These Frenchmen just need to build a sturdier craft. All right, thank you very much for bringing A Trip to the Moon 2 on.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
It's an awesome looking game. I'm going to play it right after this.
Heck yeah.
Well, thanks.
All right, thank you everybody for watching Jamflix and Chill. This has been Dieting Hippo and Xibanya. And hopefully we'll see you all in the next Game Jam. Bye, everyone.
Later, everybody.
See ya.
Bye. Bye-bye.